This week in Transformation, the story how this father of four lost weight, built muscle, and changed his life. Hello and welcome. I'm Bill Phillips and you're watching This Weekend Transformation. Now this is a show all about making healthy changes in your life that inspire and make a difference in the lives of others. Now joining me here in the studios in Los Angeles, all the way from the sunny, sandy beaches of Hawaii, our friend Right Light Clarissa. How you doing today, Clarissa?
I'm doing good. I'm still doing the hula. Aloha,
oh, you still got the
everybody.
Hawaii spirit here, huh? Well,
I do. Wow.
Well, we just got back from Hawaii last night to come here to Los Angeles to do the show.
We sure did, and wow.
What fun, huh?
What fun we had.
We went away to do a little fitness retreat to work on exercise and getting recharged, get the batteries going, and what fun we had. It reminds me so much how great it is to be healthy and active and moving and out and doing things. There you are, in Hawaii.
That was when we were going on our morning walk.
Oh, I got up to see my goddaughter, Kiani, over there. Look at how cute she is.
That's a precious photo.
She lives in Hawaii.
Oh, I love it. You know what?
You're enjoying a little snow cone on the beach there.
I know. Beautiful picture.
That's my friend, my best friend, Chelsea and little Kiani. They live in Hawaii and they both work on our transformation team.
Right, that's right.
Kiani's the cheerleader. And there's a little scenery from our morning walk.
Right.
And there's Kiani.
What a beautiful little girl.
And there we are out for a little fitness walk. Clarissa's got the photo credit on that one.
Oh, yeah. No, look at these beautiful. There's so much color out there, you know? I see all these pictures and it's beautiful.
And that's Chelsea and Kiani. Remember, she works on our transformation team.
That's right,
and this is a little surprise we've got going for folks here that are making a health transformation this summer, is that we're putting together a little challenge for this summer, and we're going to send the person who wins this challenge to Hawaii to enjoy all those things we just saw.
Oh, and trust me, you
it's worth it, huh?
Yes, you do. Give it all you got, because this is a beautiful trip. But you know, I was just looking at this. Oh, look, there's another one there.
I was sunset last night, enjoying a little.
Wow, that's a beautiful one. You know, you were showing that one earlier of me in a bikini, and I'm like, wow, you know, it feels good to see myself and be happy. To be in a bikini, you know? Yeah.
Well, you weren't always looking like that. You look so healthy and bright now.
I feel happy. You know, it's so nice to just be able to lay out and enjoy, you know, sun and fun and not there. You know, look, that's my before picture. Yeah. You know, and in that picture right there, I would have never been out on the beach enjoying fun like that. So it feels really good to just be able to lay out and just and love yourself and enjoy the sun and all the things, you know, this beautiful island has to offer. Let me tell you, it's gorgeous out there.
It was great. It was a little fitness retreat. What we're working on is we're going to have a fitness camp in Hawaii, and we're going to start later this summer. We're going to have a fitness camp, and I love teaching people through the books and through the web television and our past radio show. But there's a whole other thing, getting right with people. Sit down and get them ready to get going and get them motivated and give them specific instructions on exercise for them, nutrition for them, supplements, vitamins, and all the nutrients, and get all that stuff worked out. Plus also get a good solid foundation for the emotional fitness work that we're going to be doing as a part of a transformation process. And so we're going to invite people to come over there, and we're going to start that later this summer. But not everybody can afford to go to Hawaii for a fitness retreat. And we're going to give people the opportunity to win that trip. It's valued at about $4,000 or $5,000 to get all that done. But we're going to give people the opportunity to win that. And it's going to be starting May 15th. We're going to have a challenge. And we're going to invite people to get started. And it's one of our 8-week challenges. We sometimes do these in the winter months, but we're going to have a health transformation challenge. Oh, the road to Hawaii.
Right, the road to Hawaii. Let me tell you, folks, you want to go to Hawaii. Enjoy the beautiful energy. And
all that stuff tastes way better than any fast food, junk food, and all that stuff sometimes is a great motivational oomph to get us going in the right direction. So if you want to go to paradise, you want to accept this challenge that we're going to have, go by transformation.com. You'll find information out next week in my blog at transformation.com all about the Hawaii challenge that we're going to have. And it's an 8-week challenge, exercise, nutrition, getting involved in some of the emotional fitness work that we do, which is really important as we grow and mature and life's bumps and bruises add up. We want to make sure that we're getting lighter on the inside too, so that this isn't just an outside process, because that's kind of only half the reward.
Oh yeah, and I think that was the, well, I know that was the big factor in my transformation was, you know, I followed all the tools and all the books that you had, the Body for Life, the Eating for Life for Nutrition, and took some key parts and from the transformation book, of course, all of it, but there were some of the, you know, steps that were really helpful to me to help me move forward. And I tell you what, that changing the mindset really is the big part. It really is.
Yeah, because what we talk about here, folks, is a process where we make changes in our body, but we also make changes in our patterns of thinking. And the addictive patterns of thinking sometimes are a bigger problem than anything that we're doing on the outside, because if we don't change those, any weight loss, any fitness levels that we reach are only going to be temporary. We want to change the inside, our patterns of thinking, our identity, our habits. And we want to get to the point where it becomes automatic to be healthy, and then you've got something that you can sustain.
I love it. And you know, like I said, that's where it helped me, because I was the one who didn't focus on any type of inner work, so that was the yo-yo. You know, I could never stay.
Yeah, you lose weight and you gain it back. Well, you're going to tell people about some of those things here. At the airport last night, we found this magazine where we have a little picture of Clarissa right down there. Let's see if we can get a close-up of that.
Yay, my first ever.
And then inside, we've got a little picture of you.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow, I can't believe that's me. That's me.
Yeah, but you have the opportunity now. We talk about it so often, is that if you do the work to make the change in yourself, to get healthier, you often get this special reward, is that you get the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of others. And that is such a big part of this, isn't it?
Oh, I think it's a huge part. Being able to share my story, that if it inspires anyone, one person out there who reads this that just decides to take that one step and make a difference or in their life, it's very rewarding, because it just, I know that by me sharing, it opens the door for someone else, you know, for them to go, hey, you know, I can relate to that, or I understand what she's saying. So it feels good. You know, I never thought when I took that before picture that it would be in a magazine. But I'm proud of it now, and I'm grateful to be out there sharing my story, my before and after pictures with anyone, and you know, anyone who wants to read it and hopefully help someone get healthy. I mean, I'm proud of that. I'm grateful. So, yeah.
So, folks, when you take your before photo, you never know where it's going to end up.
I can tell you that.
It might end up in a book. It might end up on a TV show. It might end up in a magazine. But I'm telling you, everybody who's got that before photo says that without it, you know, I wouldn't have the motivation to create the after. So sometimes it really is one of the best, hardest things that you'll ever do.
Oh, there's no doubt. It was one of the hardest pictures I've ever taken, but I'm grateful for it, because I can reflect back, and I almost wish I would have taken more. You know, I'm like, I don't have very many pictures, but I'm like, you know, I've come a long way, and I'm proud of it, and I'm glad to share. So,
yeah, way to go. So what is one of the messages that you have to share with people here in this First for Magazine? Folks, if you don't know the magazine is First for Women. It's on the newsstand. It's got about 1 million readers. And we'll have a lot of people getting the idea. What's your message to them?
I think that my message here is that, first of all, you can do it. You can do it, no matter where you are, what you're going through, or what you're experiencing, is that you can do it. It's just taking that very first step. But I think it's really important to focus on changing your patterns and your belief system, working on the inner work. I think that is key, and I know for a fact that was what helped me completely change my life and sustain it. Sustain the results was really sticking to working on the inside. And
I'm not, we don't want to just plug the book, but in Transformation we talk about this. This book is really about emotional fitness. I mean, we have, my Body for Life book's got great information on exercise. I wrote a book called Eating for Life. It's got wonderful ideas for how to enjoy healthy food more than you ever enjoyed the unhealthy food. You get in there, you get 101 wonderful recipes for breakfast, lunch, dinners, and all the mid-meals. And you really get to see how you can make food in your own kitchen that nourishes your health instead of feeds you with all the bad stuff,
Right.
too many calories, too much fat, too much sugar, but you really learn to enjoy food. I wanted to write this book about the emotional fitness.
Right.
And it really has to do with mind and heart, and how we bring that into a healthier state, and how it supports the changes that we want to make in our body, whether we want to get stronger, or we want to lose weight,
Right.
or we want to get our energy back. So
Right.
oftentimes we end up in a situation where the body just doesn't have any energy.
Oh, gosh.
And we get the depression, we get, you know, we become more and more inactive. The more inactive we are, the less energy we have, and that just begins a terrible tailspin.
Right.
So beneath the skin and beneath the surface stuff, which we want to address with exercise and good nutrition, we've got to get into the issues of the heart and the matters of the mind.
Right.
And in this book, we do that. It's not for everyone. Not everybody is ready for that work. Many people have made it clear to me they're not ready for that work, and they would just assume that I would stick to calisthenics and push-ups and stay the heck out of their heart. But I really believe that there's a lot of neat things that you can do to improve your fitness and improve your health that happen inside. And that's really what we talk about with this transformation process being inside out.
I couldn't agree. That's so perfectly said. I couldn't agree with you more. There's so many great lessons in here that help me completely change my life around. And you know, I took a bit from each part of your book. Like I said, every book that you mentioned, I took the exercise program from the Body for Life, Eating for Life, wonderful recipes. It's not all about chicken and broccoli.
Right.
You know, you're going to get beautiful colors, and the pictures are wonderful because your foods actually come out looking like that.
Right.
And then pieces from the book here that, you know, teach me so much about how to practice love, compassion, gratitude, forgiveness, which was key for me, and I've shared before, and I'll share again, that that was one of the biggest steps for me. And I went from having, like, you know, a really hardened heart to just becoming more open and aware. And once I did that, my body followed, and you know, I love it. I will always sustain the results as long as I stay in check and know that I'm not just this. Like you said, I'm one whole big mind, body, soul, the whole person approach that you know, just keeps me happy and energetic too.
And you really are. You're happy. You deal with adversity well, and you exercise and you eat healthy by nature. So any of the folks that see the Clarissa's article in First for Women realize she says you can do it too.
Yes, you can.
And that's definitely something we believe in around here. We've seen people come from incredible adversity, overcome conditions of the body, mind, and heart that seemed impossible to overcome, but they did it. You can do it too. There's a way to do that, and that's one of the things we talk about here on our program and also on transformation.com and in the book is what are the steps you need to take to get there.
Right.
We're going to talk some more about that as the show goes on today, but first we're going to have a little fun. And we have some prizes.
I love giving away prizes.
Yes, you do. She loves to give away the prizes.
I like giving away stuff here. So, well, first, last week we gave away some delicious Right Light, which is my favorite.
So last week, 3 people who joined us live, participated in the chat, won a 1-month supply of Bright Light nutrition shakes, the nutrients you need without the calories you don't. And it really is good, healthy food for an instant breakfast or a mid-afternoon snack. It's been scientifically proven that nutrition shakes help you get the nutrients up and the calories down, and it isn't magic and it isn't a miracle. It's the way the physiology works, is that if we feed our bodies with good stuff and we do some activity, we make wonderful changes. This is the good stuff that can help you get the vitamins, minerals, protein you need when you don't have time for healthy whole food.
That's right. That's right. And hey, it tastes good. It's really good. You know, it's fat-free, sugar-free. I love that. You know, and as a mom, it's, you know, easy for me to shake up in a little shaker bottle. And
you sneak the healthy shakes to the kids.
I do. Yeah, my daughter has no idea half the time that she's drinking the protein shakes. It's like, Mom, I want a vanilla or chocolate smoothie. So 3
of our winners that participated in the chat last week are.
There's my drum roll. No, my hula. There we go. The winners last week were Larry Muehlman. Congratulations.
Yes.
Andrea Capiola, yay. Gretchen Dashke. And the winner of the very hard to get iPad 2 was Tina Gents. So congratulations. Yay.
Those were our winners, and thank you guys for participating, and thank you for being here. All of you that are participating in chat today, stick around at the end of the show. We're going to name 3 more winners of a free supply of Right Light. The nutrients you need without the calories you don't, folks. And then also, we're going to give away an iPad 2 to somebody who watches our show live, participates in the chat, and shares a link on Facebook. These are pretty simple things to do to get some pretty amazing prizes, you guys. So I just wanted to say these are thank you gifts is what these are. These are thank you gifts going out to folks who are participating with us in a program as we get the word out about our little web TV show, right?
Yes, it is. And you can watch the show on the iPad too. So.
Right. And we also want to thank Life Kitchens. Life Kitchen, think Whole Foods meets McDonald's. These are the people that are going to make being healthy even that much more fun and easier as they come across America with what you would call a healthy McDonald's or a healthy health in a box.
Right, exactly. I'm excited about that, you know?
Yeah, and Life Kitchen, I really believe in what they're doing. They really believe that we can transform the nation from worst to first, and we believe that too here at the show. And we can create healthy bodies, healthy lives, and most important, that we can do that within this generation, hopefully within 10 years, because we don't want to pass on this epidemic of obesity and ill health and just the lack of fitness. Right. There's a lot of people in America that aren't overweight necessarily, but they don't have the fitness level that they could, and they're not enjoying life, they're not going to live as long, and they're really not getting the most out of life that they possibly could. So let's all work together, help one another, and let's transform America from worst to first in health and well-being, and let's do it in our lifetime.
Right, right on. I love it there, you know, and I love that there's just a nice, healthy option. So when you're out and about with by yourself or with your kids.
It's going to be awesome. Just think Life Kitchen. Life Kitchen. Love your food every day. That's what the that's what the why in Life Kitchen is about. Somebody who's actually done this, who's taken their life from an unhealthy to a healthy place, is our guest on today's show. He really represents the type of person that we need. We just need a million more people like this, because he didn't just bring himself. He brought his family, his wife, his inspiring coworkers to just get a little bit healthier and make the important changes that we need to make. So I want to introduce him, and then I want to bring him into our show. He came from Indiana to Los Angeles to be here. And then we want to ask him your questions. So type in your questions on the chat, and we will get you participating in the show. But for now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is Eric's story.
My name's Eric Simpson. I'm 45 years old, and I live in Greenwood, Indiana. We're a hockey family. We've got Eric that is 14, Jonathan 13, Reese that is 10, and Dominic that is 7. I played hockey and refereed professional hockey.
On the ice, let's go! Go!
Now my kids are playing, and I've coached them for many years.
What hockey means to Simpson boys is everything, because it is a connection.
It's always been a family tradition to play it. I love it with all my heart. It is so much fun. Having Dad on the sidelines coaching, it just feels so good.
Way to go, way to go!
There's a lot of fun on the ice now, but it wasn't always that way.
I got started selling boxes 25 years ago when I was in college. I drive 200 to 400 miles a day for my job.
Sometimes Eric felt as empty inside as the boxes he was selling. It affected everything in his life.
Every single day, I dreaded what was going to happen, and I didn't feel good about myself. I would walk through the door, and my kids would not want to see me walking through the door.
He would be so mad at work and mad, thinking of all the bad things of, like, you know, I'm fat, you know, work's bad, and he would take it out on us.
I was miserable, and I was taking everybody down with me. I got out of shape over the years just from neglect, and decades of neglect. At age 45, I found myself weighing 267 pounds, and I had a 46-inch waist. I handled stress and everything with eating, and I was drinking as well. I was in real pain, and I had to change. I found transformation.com, and I found hope. When I started, I took my day one picture. It was very emotional for me, because like many people, when I looked at it, I didn't realize I was that big. And as I took my pictures each week, I was able to see the positive change. I was able to see my belly go down. I was able to see my love handles go down.
It was like, who are you? Oh my gosh, you're really looking totally different.
I love working out. It's my favorite thing to do.
He's got big, huge muscles.
I did my transformation working out in my home with just 2 or 3 pieces of equipment.
Yeah, he's strong. I can tell you that.
My dad looks absolutely fantastic.
Probably the greatest reward is the change in Eric's relationships with his boys.
Growl it.
His older sons even started working out with him.
The whole family lives in the habits that you created as a parent. What I'm discovering now is that I am a role model for my kids. Good job, Eric. Way to go.
Now the whole gang loves hanging out with Dad.
It's called playing on the floor with Daddy. It's where you wrestle with Daddy. It's really fun.
At some point during my transformation, I realized that my kids were not having fun and I wasn't having fun with them, and I needed to shake it up.
Each week, Eric and the boys spend quality time, just father and sons.
Hey guys, it's Daddy Fun Night. Daddy Fun Night is just for the guys. We need to decide what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna give you each a card, as we normally do.
We write on a piece of paper what we want to do, and we place it in a hat.
Shake it around and then take one out, and whatever it is what we go do.
And it is go-karting! All right, you hop in. Go-karting is a lot of fun. Each one of them loves it. My kids have seen me have more fun in the last 6 months than they have ever seen since they were born.
During his transformation, Eric realized he wanted to give back.
I had thought about becoming a big brother years and years ago in my life, but never had the courage to do it.
Hey, Eric.
Hey, buddy. Good to see you. You ready to have some fun?
Yeah.
On my 45th birthday, I got my little brother, and his name is Corey.
When he decided to be a big brother, I was incredibly concerned because I had mentioned it to him. I said, have you thought about your sons? Have you thought about this? And he reminded me, I'm a big brother, not a big dad.
I really had no idea how much that was going to affect me and be a positive experience. What are you working on today?
He always helps me with school, and he takes me to places. It's just loads of fun.
I think he's a great guy. He is really kind and helps reinforce a positive role model for Corey.
My dad has a very big heart. It takes a good person to do that.
Through the last 30 years, I lost who I was. And that's been the greatest thing for me, to learn who I am inside. I spend a lot of time on transformation.com sharing and getting involved in people's lives and cheering people on.
My dad's a champion.
You all win.
I wanted to be a transformation champion. When I was given that honor by Bill as a champion in Dallas, it was the greatest honor of my life. A lot's happened in a year. I've lost 55 pounds, and I've lost over 12 inches in my waist.
Way to go, Coach!
We have a lot of fun here at the house. We grill out. We are eating healthy together. We pray together. They have learned a lot from me watching what I eat and being conscientious and really learning about nutrition. The way I identify with myself is really what needed to change. And my body was a reflection of how I felt about myself, as it is now, a reflection of how I feel about myself.
This whole transformation saved our marriage, saved our kids, saved him.
I love you guys.
He's probably the best dad in the world.
He's my best friend.
I'm so proud of him.
He's a very good dad.
I've experienced more joy and more fulfillment than I had ever felt possible, and I want others to know that is possible as well.
Well, there you go, a beautiful story, and we have the beautiful champion himself who's transformed his body and life. Eric, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me, Bill.
Yeah. You know, it really, as Clarissa and I were watching that story, I mean, it really touches you in the heart. Just what about your story that's very heartwarming, and you're so strong, but yet you can tell that you've got a gentle spirit and you really care about your family, and it seems like you've come to really care about yourself.
Absolutely, and that's what I've enjoyed about this whole process is getting to know myself and becoming the father that I could be.
Right.
So it's been very rewarding, and it's just fantastic to be here. So.
Right, and it looks like you're having fun too, because
Exactly.
all this is not about just getting militant. You know, it's like
Right.
I'm going to be so strict with my eating and
Right.
so, you know, obsessed with my exercise that I'm going to forget to really enjoy what it's all about. We want to get healthy so we can go to Hawaii
Right.
and have a good time. So we can go.
Sounds great.
Yeah, so we can go. So,
Eric's like,
so
I love that. That's right.
we can go karting with the kids, get out and do stuff. Because if we don't give a little exercise, you know, each day, and don't, you know, have that mindfulness of how we're eating and get some education about what's good for you and what's not, we don't get to have as many of those moments. We don't feel good enough to even go out and do things sometimes. And it sounds like that was something that was starting to happen to you.
Oh yeah, I was lost in just finding out, going through the day and running into one day running into the next and doing the same
Right.
thing over and over, and I was not living, and that's what I was able to do, was start spending time with the kids and start really understanding what was important,
Right.
Right.
really.
Like prioritizing.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we have some questions from the folks
right.
that
Yeah.
sent in some questions during the chat and to Clarissa's email.
Yes, we've been getting a lot of questions, I'll tell you.
Aw.
All right, so this one here is from David from Fort Worth. He says, you seem like a guy who's always been into fitness, but when I see your before photo, I realize that you're not that much different than me. And you've struggled with being overweight like I have. What clicked for you? What was the turning point? What was your reason? What was it, a fear or an ultimatum or something that motivated you?
Right.
How do you find that thing so I can someday have an after photo like you?
Wow, great question, David. You know, for me, I'd gone on a cruise, and we often joke that I went on as a passenger and I came off as cargo. But I really just I was trying to escape. Trying to escape, like many of us do, in different ways from just life in general, and I was miserable. And I actually, my wife ended up having to call the ship's doctor for me because I had so much gas and just problems with everything that I had been eating the whole time. And so when I got home, I knew I had to change, and that was my wake-up call for me, is I could not go on being miserable like that anymore. And I was starting to realize what it was doing to my family. And you saw in the video there how I really was bringing down my family with me, and that's the way it was. When I came home, my kids did not want to be around me, and that was a terrible feeling. And so for me, what I had to do something different, and that is what sparked me to take action. And then once I started taking action, then that just led to momentum. But you know, as far as anybody else doing it, you know, I thought that it was going to be too hard. I thought it was going to take too much time. And my life was so out of balance that really what I was able to do is just use time to my advantage, and just in 2 to 3 hours a week do this exercise program and balance my meals, and soon I started to feel better, and that started to encourage me and give me more momentum moving forward. So David, you can do it too, and all it takes is taking that step and taking action, and then getting connected to the community and building from there, and that's what I did.
Wow. Boy, you say, yeah. That's
What
right.
does it take, though? Because, I mean, really, sometimes I say that you'll make the transformation when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of changing.
Sure.
I want to say that again, is that we all are going to get off the sofa, and we're all going to get off get on the starting line and go when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of changing. But there's a paradox to that. Because once you get going, you realize the pain of changing is not anything like what you were going through before. Yes, you got to get up and exercise. Yes, you got to say, you know what, I'm going to eat something healthy instead of something unhealthy. And yes, I need to start planning ahead of time what I'm going to do this week for my exercise, nutrition, and start doing a little soul searching about our priorities and values. But that stuff's a breeze. Stuff is so much easier than living in a body that you don't like and in a life that isn't really yours at all. So what can you say to somebody who's kind of sick and tired of being sick and tired and is not sure that they've had enough yet?
Well, for me, when I woke up and my negative attitude, and you talked about the negative patterns that we have, it started from the time I looked in the mirror. And I didn't like the person I saw, both physically and also inside. And so what I had to do is make a decision to change, and it really just takes taking control and finding that inspiration. We've got an incredible, all of our champions are unbelievable, and you know, the videos inspired me. Latch on to accountability partners, get connected to certain champions, and really just realize what's important to you in your life, and that is what I was able to do, and I had to do it. And once I found my reason, which was my family, and my health, I started realizing that I had to change. That is when I was able to take action to change.
Wow.
So you can do it.
Well said. Let's do another question.
Good stuff there. Yeah. All righty.
Oh, it sounds so easy all of a sudden.
Right. All right. We have a question here from Alan. He is in Chicago and says, how many times do you eat each day, and what's a day of healthy nutrition look like for you?
Wow, great question, Alan. What I've always done is be very consistent and do everything that's sustainable over a period of time. So I do a balanced 6 meals a day. Sometimes I don't get 6, sometimes it's 5. But I generally try and go with 3 Right Light shakes, and then I go with 3 balanced meals. And most of the time those are balanced, sometimes they're not. But that's always my foundation, and that's what I always come back to. And I generally will have a free day. I generally will have pizza on that day, but I get right back to focusing and doing what I need to do.
I love that too, because even enjoying a free day, that's part of balance. You're able to just enjoy life. I'm not saying all bad food, but it's just being able to enjoy life, and some of those things out there that we all like to indulge in. So,
And I'm so glad you brought that up, because my life was out of balance because of the food I was eating and the way I was thinking. And I was so focused on, if anybody, I got caught up, Bill, on the carbohydrate cycle, where it just feeds itself, and one thing leads to another, one meal leads to another. And at the end of the day, what do? You feel miserable. You're not going to take care of yourself. And so that's the way I was able to change. And Right Light shakes actually was the foundation to help me do that.
Yummy.
Stop those cravings. That's right. Exactly.
Right.
Well, every balanced meal that you have works to rebalance the mind. The body's chemistry, and especially the neurochemistry, gets so far out of balance from the way that we're eating. Inactivity and eating a lot of processed carbohydrates, it literally creates a brain disease. It literally creates an unhealthy chemical balance in the mind, or I'm sorry, in the brain, that gives rise to parts of the mind that is deadly. I mean, it really is deadly. But the solution, again, the plan has got to involve exercise and has got to involve nutrition. Now, a lot of people are going to be watching this show for the first time. They haven't learned about our teachings very well. They might be coming in from your magazine. And you can't get there with diet alone, can you?
Right.
No, you can't. And it takes that focus of taking that action for the exercise, and it doesn't have to take a lot of time.
Right.
We all have that time. We just have to figure out how to get that time.
Yeah. Don't find it, make it.
Make
There you
it.
go.
That's
Right.
so true.
That's
That's so true. Okay, we have one more question
All
here.
right.
This is Daryl from Stockbridge, Georgia,
Okay.
and he says, "How did your change affect your family? I've got 2 sons, and I see you have 4. I'd love for my sons to get involved in health and fitness, but I don't know how to get them started. Their ages are 10 and 14.
Well, those are great ages to get started doing things, and it doesn't have to be, obviously at 10 years old you don't want to be lifting weights, but for me, it was really that example, and I'll tell you, that's the neat thing for me, and was it Daryl, is that his name?
Daryl, yes.
Daryl. Transforming yourself is one thing. Transforming when you have a family, if you're a father or a mother, it's very complex, and once you transform yourself, everybody else just kind of comes along at their own pace, their own time, and you don't know when that's going to be, and you don't know what's going to cause that to happen. So you really just have to, and what I did was just keep continuing doing what I needed to do. And sure enough, you saw those glimmers, those things that changed. They started thinking more positively. They started changing what they ate. They started exercising. My 14-year-old actually did his own transformation. Phenomenal. And he went from being a guy that really didn't feel good about himself to now he thinks he's on top of the world at school and one of the strongest guys there. Yeah, so we've seen that change inside for him. And my older son, Eric, is really making those strides too. He's just finding out in his own time. And the rest of the kids see it as well. So the best thing to do is just keep doing what you're doing, get them involved. It doesn't have to be a lot of time-oriented activities. It can be simple things of going, taking a walk, taking a bike ride, getting them understanding what you're doing and why you're doing it, and that will help them over time get more involved and make those changes at their own pace.
Right. I love it. What a great example. I mean, I love what you're sharing there.
Well, that's what we need. We need a million more dads. We need a million more dads out there leading by example.
Right. You know, I love it because I do a lot of what I share often. I'm a mom, and so I lead by example, and so my daughter's the same way. Let's go ride a bike or go walking. So
and she sees that, doesn't she?
And she sees it all the time. So now she sees it as an everyday part of my life. So she wants to just. I'm not pushing her; she's just joining me. And I love that. So
on that flip side is the thing I didn't realize was what my actions were doing to my family before transformation.com.
Right.
Because the same is also true.
Exactly.
That's what I say is that when you start
is.
getting healthy, when you start making changes, you get up, you exercise, you feel a little better, you're eating smarter, and you're eating healthier, and you're feeling a little better, and then you stick with it for a week, 2 weeks, and all you start to realize is that, hey man, everybody's following me, everybody's doing what I'm doing, and they're feeling a little bit like what I'm feeling.
Right.
And the same is also true for the other side. When we're not taking care of ourselves, when we're not being conscious, when we're being stupid about how we eat, when we're being lazy about how we, because honestly, we got to push ourselves, get up and get moving, because all those things affect our mind and our mood, and then that becomes contagious.
Boy,
so it works on both ways, folks.
That's so true. That's so true.
Absolutely.
So, okay, we have a question by Skype. Now we don't have to have the phone calls. We got the Skype calls.
Oh, cool.
Who do we have with a question for our man, Eric Simpson here, who's going to be joining us on Skype? Do we have anyone? Oh, there he is.
There's Marty.
Hi, Marty.
It's our friend Marty Goldman from outside of Chicago. Marty, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Good.
So, what do you think of this guy that's a neighbor of yours up there? You're in Illinois, he's in Indiana.
I could tell you Eric is one cool dude. I've been so blessed that I've spent a couple of weekends with him doing get-togethers and stuff, and he put me up in his house, and I, spend time with his family, and he is one heck of a father, Bill and Clarissa. Eric, I just love spending time at your house, watching how you interact with your wife and your kids.
I love you too, Marty. Thanks, man.
So what kind of questions do people want to ask Eric here?
Well, Eric, I'd like to ask you the question that, what have you learned about yourself during your transformation process?
Wow, that's a great question, Marty. And what I would say is that I guess I've learned who I am. Through this process, I've actually identified, who I am. The other day on our conference call in our group, somehow somebody said something and it struck a chord with me that I actually discovered who I am for the first time in my life. I found myself through transformation.com. And but as far as what I've learned about myself is that I am worthy of success. And I am a good man. And, I constantly looking in the mirror prior, I did not think that. And that weighed on me, and that weight on my shoulders. I hope everybody can relate to having weight on your shoulders. I had weight on my shoulders that I needed to get rid of, and it was all that mentality that I wasn't worthy and that I wasn't a good man. Right. And so to find myself through this process and realize that I really can accomplish great things, and I can do great things, and I can be more and do more. That has really been a great lesson for me. That has left me on a path Marty is leading to all kinds of goodness in my life. So that's a very good thing.
I love it. I love it.
No, it's so true. Do we still have Marty there?
I sure am, man. I won't be.
We have a lot of new people watching the program. What's your 2 cents worth? What do you have to say? You've been through a transformation process. Do we have Marty's pictures around here anywhere? Now that we have the videos and stuff, I got to constantly keep going.
Showing stuff all the time.
Because before we just had a radio show, we didn't have any, we couldn't show pictures and stuff. But Marty's had a great transformation too. Really rejuvenated himself. Marty, what do you have to suggest to some of the new people that are watching our program?
Well, one of the biggest things that I keep going back to when I hear this question is to ask yourself the reason why you are doing that. It is so important to know the reasons why, and then after you ask your reasons why, you need to keep asking yourself, where do you want to go? And I think it's critical, just absolutely critical, that you keep visiting that place, because it's a journey that things come up and you keep needing that reminder, why am I doing this?
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. Things do keep coming up. It's not a perfect process. It's not like you make the decision.
Right.
It's not like you looked at the before photo, or you looked at the before and you said, oh man, I'm ready to go. I'm going to do exercise, nutrition, and just get it all right. It's, like I said, it's not all dewy meadows and butterflies. It's bloody hell sometimes.
And life happens along the way.
Totally.
To take, challenge you along the way. Right. Even on the way here, and I don't think you even know this, I got a phone call saying that my father was going into emergency surgery. I'm just mentioning that, life happens.
Yeah.
And the way your perspective on the way you deal with those things really makes a difference. And so, that's a really great thing to realize that, hey, life's going to happen.
How's he doing? Do we know how he's doing?
Yeah, he's made it through surgery. They had to cut off part of the bone that was in his foot. He's a diabetic. So another example of unfortunately living a life that maybe is not so healthy. Right. And so there was an infection in the bone. Right. And so, but anyway, he's doing fine. I was able to talk to him beforehand. Right. But it was absolutely great just being calm and at peace that hey, everything's going to be fine and coming here. So life happens every day. We have these challenges as parents, things happen, and the more we get grounded with who we are and taking action, the better we're going to be able to handle those things.
Right.
Wow.
Well, our prayers to your father.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
for being here, because see, the thing is that with you being here, this always happens. This always happens every time somebody shares, is that somebody's watching right now and you don't know who it is right now. Mm-hmm. And the person watching may not even know that it's them, but they've been meaning to make a healthy change. They've been thinking about making a healthy change. It's something Eric says is going to help that person make the change. And we have a lot of fun, and we have we have great sense of humor here, and all of us do. But we realize that what we're talking about is very serious.
Yes, absolutely.
And if you don't make these changes, and if you don't wake up and realize that the things you're doing right now may not hurt today. High cholesterol doesn't actually hurt, day in and day out, and diabetes doesn't actually hurt day in and day out. But there's something that has to change in order for us to change our mindset, so we can realize is that, yeah, I'm not in pain today, but the direction my life is going. My doctor says I'm at higher risk of cancer, of heart disease, of diabetes, and maybe something that you said today, and maybe just you being here, and just you being you, sharing your story, is going to convince somebody, a young father, maybe in his 30s or 40s like us, 40s like us, 30s like you, to make a change, and to do it before it's too late. And I always get these letters a month from now, 2 months from now, 6 months from now. Hey, I saw Eric on that show, or I saw Marty in that book, and something clicked, and I made the change, and they share their photos. And so maybe you're out here helping somebody make the change before they get to the point where your father is, and that that breaks our heart. But we got to treat all of us like family. When you see somebody out there, and I think that's one of the things that's special about your approach, is that you treat everybody like family.
Well, I appreciate that very much. And by the way, I'm 46.
Oh, are you? You're both 46. Jade at 46.
But thank you.
We both still have our hairs.
Y'all look awesome. Y'all look great.
Well, we're doing our best. 50 is a lot closer than 40. But it really does. It becomes serious at this point in life. I mean, I really do watch my cholesterol and my blood pressure and my blood sugar levels, because I may not be so concerned about winning a Mr. America contest and building the most chiseled physique, but I watch those measures for these terrible diseases, and I always stay healthy in that regard. More than anything, I really, really watch for this because I'm in my 40s, man. 40s and 50s, you guys.
Absolutely.
That's when we start getting into this trouble.
And people don't realize that when we take those things that we're doing every day, we don't realize what impact they're having on our lives and on our bodies. And I didn't, Bill.
Right.
And so I really think that there's a lot of people out there that are waking up every day not realizing what they're doing to their body, and they really can change it. And so it's just you're exactly
and
right.
a lot of what happens with the body happens in the mind first. When we say that when you're getting healthier, it really starts inside and it comes out.
Reflects out. Yeah.
But when you're getting unhealthier, it starts inside and it shows up on the outside. So heart disease has an emotional component, a mindset component, how you think about life, how you think about yourself, how you think about adversity. When we learn to see adversity as oftentimes as a challenge that makes us better, that's different than seeing it as a victim or as a reason to get more internalizing stress.
Sure.
There's studies, and I talk about it in my book Transformation, that guys in their 40s who don't learn to process anger and bitterness and resentment, which is those are kind of the fuel for guys in our 20s and 30s, and it makes you it makes you tough, makes you want to work hard and stuff. But by the time you get to 40s and 50s, that stuff will kill you. There's a study that showed that men who can't process anger and can't process disappointment, and life is going to have disappointment, are twice as likely to die of a heart attack in their 40s as guys who learn to be humble. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, or I forgive you, or look, let's do what we can to make it right, and let it go. Honest to God, let it go. Those people can live a lot longer. So we want to be those people that become more humble and a little bit more forgiving, more giving, more caring. And this is a way that we get our heart health takes on a new meaning.
Sure.
And that having a compassionate, giving, empathetic heart really makes us a stronger man.
Right on.
Right.
I love it.
That's true. Okay, we have another question for Eric. We have tons of questions for Eric. You can see him coming in right there. And we have Thea on Skype, I think. Thea by Skype. We don't have her yet. Okay, well, Thea wanted to ask you. No, she's going to go and ask you a question. One of the other questions that we get all the time, is how do you sustain it? Sometimes people go for the prize or they go to get in shape for summer, but how do you sustain it? What's the most important thing?
Well, the most important thing is just doing things that are balanced and that aren't extreme. For me, I did the simplest things. Keep it simple. It was really, for me, very, very important. Right. So find out, know what's going on in your life and make it fit. And make decisions based upon that. So the most important thing is really to understand that and just take action on those things. Right. So for me that was really important.
Right. Now Bill's questions.
No, Bill's questions.
These are on a card because these are important. Bill doesn't want to forget his questions. He's got a lot of stuff happening on today's show. So these are your fast blast questions.
All right.
What's the hardest part about making the change?
Figuring out that you really are worthy of the change and that you can do it, and that it's not going to be that hard.
So beliefs, kind of like changing your beliefs.
Absolutely, right. Absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah,
beliefs are, the body will, we can get the body to do all kinds of things as soon as the beliefs allow us to.
Right.
And not looking at the past either to decide what your future is going to be.
So that's like our mindset. We have, we look in the past, present, or future. We want to be planning for the future and enjoying the moment and in the journey. What's the best part of making the change?
The blessings that come from doing it and feeling the opposite of what I shared to you just a little bit ago. Instead of feeling miserable and unhappy and seeing that person that I don't like, being on the other side and really liking what I see, both physically and inside, and then having the blessings come from so many different areas of my life that are just really rewarding. Right. That is
other stuff you didn't expect. You didn't expect to be inspiring people in a
didn't expect to be here.
In Los Angela's joining us for
Exactly.
And, you know, a lot of
show.
those blessings come from just that light that you're putting out, all that, you know, that healthy, happy energy. You just attract so much of that, and you're like, hey, life is pretty
Something
good.
does seem to change inside when you get healthy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I had a lady. I was in Santa Monica down looking at the mall shopping, and I had a lady stop me in the middle of the mall. She was probably 55, 56 years old, and she stopped me and she says, "You know, you look really strong and fit. How do I get strength back in my legs? How do I do that?" And so it's just the weirdest things every single day. I know you guys get it just because.
Actually, I haven't. Actually, not in years. No, but it's but what they're saying is that how do I have the energy? How do I have the strength in my step? How do I have energy back in my life? And I think that's one of the things that I've seen again and again, going back all the way past my Body for Life days to the Muscle Media days to back when I was teaching the Dallas Cowboys nutrition and exercise and working with the sports teams like the Denver Broncos, is that really it's an energy change more than anything. And when your energy changes, it's like you go to a different vibration. You get a different wavelength going. And people are attracted to that.
Oh, yeah.
And the opposite is also true.
That is so true. People want what you have. They're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
it's kind of like calibrating, tuning yourself in.
Right.
My last question, and then we're going to have Thea's question, is what's the one thing that you recommend to other people who want to make a healthy change in their life?
Good question.
The one thing that you'd recommend out of all the things you've learned.
The one thing that I would recommend?
Yeah, what's the one key that people so often overlook, maybe something that's that you've learned by experience?
I would say that it's so worth it.
Yeah.
If you're sitting there wondering how you can change, and if you're wondering if it's going to be worth it, that you really need to understand that what it's going to be like 18 weeks from now, or 8 weeks from now, or in Hawaii, when your life has changed on the other side. And if I would have realized how incredible that is on the other side, I might have done things a little bit differently. I don't know. I might not have taken things for granted. And you know, we all take things for granted in our life. This is not something to take for granted. And the more we can think about how it's going to be at the end of that 8 weeks and feel that. And that's why I love the photos, because you know, I really want people, I love commenting genuinely on people's photos because I want them to feel how they're going to feel at the end of that 18 weeks. And the more they can latch onto that, the weeks they'll go by one after the other. You don't know this, Clarissa, but I used to wait to see, once I posted my photos, what your comments were going to be, and so you know, I really looked for that, and you know, that's a great thing for people to realize is that they really can focus on that feeling that they're going to have, and that can get them through every single week, and focusing on the right things.
So what I'm hearing, and this is an excellent point, is that people underestimate how good it's going to feel once you get started. And I think that's completely true.
That's a good...
Because I think that when you're not making the change, that at some point, at some place in your mind, you're weighing, does my lifestyle now, I mean, I like the way it feels. It feels good to eat that pizza. It feels good to have that extra time on the sofa. It feels good to not have to worry about, you know, failing from another diet or whatever. All these things that happen in the mind. And you've got this out here and say, yeah, but how good would it feel to be making some progress? How good would it feel to have the energy flowing through my body again? How good would it feel to be getting support and compliments even from other people who are taking on this challenge in their lives? And I think what we're saying here is that when you're over here and you haven't gone through it yet, you're underestimating how awesome it is. You're underestimating how good it feels mentally, physically, and how good the energy feels when you get it circulating.
Because everybody wants a healthy body, right? But really, what everybody wants is to feel good about themselves. And so you know, I think the more we focus on that, the better. So
and I think transformation. Somebody said it to me once in one of these transformation stories. Somebody had been through some healthy changes in life. They said, Bill, making these healthy changes in my body, in my habits, in my mindset, they've allowed me to go in and find a part of myself that I really, really like. And for so many years of our lives, the days and hours, the minutes go by, and we haven't found that person, that version of ourselves that we really like. You know, not in an intoxicated self-absorption, but in the quiet moments. You get up, you're by yourself, and you got to find that part of yourself that you really like, because it's in there. it is in there. And that's what you're saying, is that that part of you is there, and that part, it deserves to have a good life, and you're worthy of having a good life. Somebody else who's having a good life is joining us by Skype right now, Thea. She's coming in from Canada. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Hello, how is everyone?
Good.
Fantastic.
You look beautiful.
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you, Bill. Before I ask Eric the question, I want to put it on the record that I'm older than all of you.
How cute.
Eric, I noticed in your videos that you say that you struggled with some depression, some symptoms of depression. How has eating and exercising and helping others affected your energy and your mood? I notice you're a lot happier these days.
Well, it's
you too.
You're right. Right.
Well, it's very, very kind of you to ask that, and very kind of you to notice those things. You know, when you are constantly in that cycle of thinking negative things, and your perspective is a perspective of negativism, and it's very hard to find the good things in your life. Right. It's very hard to find the good things inside of you, and you got to work at it. And that is what I have been able to do through this process, is really beginning with each week as they pass along, find those glimmers of things that really I saw changing positively, and that began changing, giving me energy, like you said, and that energy then turned into more positive things. And now, from the time that I wake up until the time I go to bed, you know, I am focused on those positive things, and I am focused on that perspective of gratitude. You know, every day I say how great, you don't know this, but I say how grateful I am for transformation.com, and for you guys, for our champions, and for everything in my life. And that gratitude has been a learning lesson for me, and that's grown. And the more that I have that perspective, the more I grow. Right. And so that's been the great thing for me, is that at the end of the day, I'm not sunken, I'm not depressed. Right. I'm looking forward to being with my family and looking forward to the things ahead, rather than thinking very negatively about the things ahead.
I think that's a really good point you bring up, because for me, you know, in sharing our stories here today, is that for me, I would, you know, I could stand in front of a mirror, and perhaps a few people can identify, but you'd stand in front of the mirror and you could just dissect yourself to pieces and just like, you know, I don't like this. But when I started going through the process and making changes, I'm like, okay, there's a little more light there. But that's your mood set for the day. I mean, or mood and mindset for the day. Totally. It's like, once I go, instead of focusing on the things I don't like, what do I notice differently in a positive way? You just totally, that carries your mood the entire day. And I think that's a really good point you make there. That's a solid point.
Sometimes we have to work pretty hard at finding those positive things.
I mean, it's work.
That's the thing, that having an accountability partner or friend, it could be your spouse, it could be a brother or sister, it could be a parent, and it could be somebody in the transformation. We have a free website called transformation.com, and you can come in and you can join our groups. It's all free. We have resources and people who've been remarkably successful in that process. We call them champions, and Eric's one of them. But everybody can be a champion when they take control of things they can control about their health and get moving in the right direction. And one of the things that's very valuable when you get an accountability partner, or you get a friend or coach there, is that they are able to see the bigger picture of you. And somebody might say, oh, I'm focusing on this area or this area, and doggone it, I can't stand. Oh, come on, you guys. You're so much bigger than that. You're so much more than that. We wear a physical body, and we've been given it to this journey in life from here to here, which is our timeline, a lifeline, and we take care of it. You know, if we really should take care of it so that it's there to carry us through this full journey. You have a purpose. You have a calling. You have a reason for being here. You're important. Getting you through your lifetime so you can fulfill your calling is important to me. It's important to Eric. It's important to Clarissa. And it's going to be important to somebody that you're going to connect with, whether it's a personal trainer or a doctor or a counselor or a spouse or somebody on our community. And they're going to help you see the bigger picture of you. And whenever you go after something like dieting or fitness or muscle building or trying to get lower weight on the scale, you're after actually something more than that. You want to find that part of yourself that you really like. And in a way, you want to find a different path in life, the one that might bring you to your opportunities, instead of one that is has the very real potential, these unhealthy lifestyles have the very real potential to end your life prematurely before you've answered your calling, before you've fulfilled your mission.
Right.
I believe that with all my heart. Right. You're about so much more than the bad habits that you might have. You're about so much more than the little areas that don't look like a perfect Greek god or goddess, all that stuff. Right. You know what? We're focusing on our progress, not perfection. And somebody needs to see you for what you really are and help you move in that direction. Just showing up for a workout makes you a winner. Just making the decision to make your next meal, and I hope you'll do this, your next meal a healthy one, puts you on the right path. And it's that kind of decision that you need to be rewarded for and acknowledged for. And look, our bodies are going to get us from point A to point B if we take care of them. And when you're living authentically in that body, you're beautiful immediately. And it isn't about whether you look perfect in a swimsuit or whether you look, you know, like a bodybuilder or Mr. America or just, you know, a person. We just want you to be healthy, for God's sakes. We just want you folks to be healthy, and we want to be healthy, and we want to go through this together. So please, if you focus on the little parts of yourself or the little habits, darn it, I ate right 5 times yesterday, but I slipped up once, so for God's sakes, focus on the 5 times you ate right. You're going to get more of what you focus on. Let's focus on the good parts of you. Let's focus on the improvements you're making. Let's focus on the potential that you have to live a purposeful and powerful life and support others and help them live a good life in the process. And that's what we're all here for. So above and beyond all the little stuff, there's the big picture. And somebody like Eric, somebody like Clarissa, they're going to be able to help you see that. And it can change your whole experience of what fitness is, why you're trying to lose weight, why you're trying to get healthier in the first place.
I love it. Boy, perfectly said. How can I add to that there?
That was awesome.
But I just wanted to add, my little add there is that the healthier Eric gets, the healthier I get. Because I can support and lift him, that lifts me. It makes me feel good. Because we're all in this together. We're all trying to get healthy together. So it's like, the more you do, the happier I get, you know, and it lifts my spirits.
That's when you start to get into some of these other areas of maturity and some of the things we have to look forward to as we go through our 30s and 40s, is that we might start to recognize that Eric's well-being is my well-being, and that your well-being is Eric's well-being, and that when somebody hurts, you know, we all hurt, and when somebody's doing better, we all do better. And that's why we really get to that point where we want to see everybody succeed. We want everybody to win. We want everybody to be a champion.
So,
and so it's a wonderful thing. And we could do all this stuff and still have the rest of our day, you know, I mean, we only takes us a little bit of our... If you put 2 or 4% of your total time each week into making your life better from the inside out, into working on your health and helping other people, it is going to change your life. You're going to get energy you didn't even know you had, and you're going to start to make improvements. And you might go at it for a better body at first, but you're going to realize that I'm becoming a better person with a better life at the same time. Now, moving forward, we have some people who won a prize during today's show. We're going to let Eric announce those.
Yes, we are.
Oh, great.
There we go.
We have 3 people that won 4 boxes free of Right Light Nutrition and Shakes, the nutrients you need without the calories you don't, helping you get healthier. The 3 people that are participating in chat today that are going to get a surprise package this week are...
The first one is Kathy, TNT.
Yay,
Kathy. And the second one is Joe Aravola.
Yay,
yes,
Joe.
Right on, Joe.
There we go. And number 3 is Doug Griffin.
That's right.
Doug Griffin. Thank you guys for participating in chat. And the winner of the iPad 2, this is a person who's participating in chat, been very supportive, helping to spread the word about our show, and they shared it on their Facebook account.
Wow, this is exciting. It's Evie Lingenfelter.
Yay!
That's awesome. That was great.
Way to go.
So we're going to be sending out those Right Light prizes, and every week we'll give away prizes as a reward for showing up and helping us spread the message. And we really, really hope that you are going to listen to this stuff and then start to look at making healthy changes in your life. We talked the last couple shows about the importance of finding a reason. Marty mentioned that, Eric mentioned that again today. It really is important. And I think the neat thing about finding your reason is that it helps you overcome the excuses. You're in such a battle each day with all of these things that we're hearing in our head, and they sound like valid reasons, but we realize they're just excuses. I don't have time. Not today, I can't, you know, I'll start tomorrow. These are all excuses. But find your reason. Your reason has got to be more powerful than your excuses. Then you're off and running in the right direction. And then set a goal. You might just say, hey, but by the first day of summer, I'm going to be 10 pounds lighter. you know, or by the 4th of July, I'm going to be exercising 5 days a week and be able to run 4 miles without stopping. Something that you can measure, something that's specific. And then we need a plan. And what I want to do today is direct your attention to some important pieces of this plan to get healthy. And I want you to go to transformation.com, go to the nutrition section. I want you to read 2 things. This is your homework. I want you to read about the right facts, and then I want you to read a section called Getting Started. Read about these things. Nutrition is so important. All the mindset stuff, all the compassion that we can get into effect, and all the exercise we can do, all that stuff is not going to make up for terrible nutrition. And dieting is not the answer. Restricting food, learning how to sacrifice, and white knuckle it is not the way to sustain a healthy lifestyle. So I want you to learn about the right facts, right foods, right amounts, right combinations, right times. You're going to read about that. It's free, transformation.com under the nutrition section. Then you're going to need some steps, and you're going to read about that in Getting Started. Bring that insight back with you next week and make some notes. Be ready, because I'm going to show you how to set up a specific daily meal plan so that you can get started. And boy, I'll tell you, once you know about right nutrition and then you got your meal plan printed out, you can just follow it, check, 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 and all your decisions are pre-made. So you're going to do the smartest things you've ever done throughout the day when it comes to eating healthy, because you make those decisions ahead of time when you're really focused and conscious of them. And these are some of the things that Eric's learned, the things that Clarissa's learned. There's an example of one of the charts that we're going to show you how to use next week. But it's really, there's some science to this too. It's an art, in that we've got to find kind of like an individual reason, something that's, you know, unique to us. But then there's a science to how we roll it out. There's a way that we eat that works with the body, not against it. There's a way that we exercise that works with the body, with the mind, and not against it. And we need to develop these smart lifetime habits that we can work again and again, and we can just go to work the next day, making ourselves healthier, making our lives happier, and making a difference at the same time.
I love it. I use those plans. I love them. They work for me. Been following them. I know you use them too.
Absolutely.
Right. Last parting words.
You know, I'm just so thrilled to be here. I can't believe I'm here with you guys. You know, I love you guys, and I love Transformation to the community. I'm so grateful to all the champions that kind of showed me what's possible. Right. And I was just so inspired by all of them, and I'm so grateful for all of them and the way they have made me feel through the process. And I'm so looking forward to where this path is leading me. And I really challenge everybody to be open to the path that this might lead them on, and to take action. And it's an exciting process, and I look forward to even more down the road. So just thank you very much.
Well, apparently the ladies at the mall want you got.
Right. So cute.
So keep up the good work, and congratulations. Thanks, Clarissa. Thanks, Eric, for being here, my friend.
Thank you.
And Marty, thanks for contacting us by Skype. Go Bulls. The Chicago Bulls are on their way, and I know Marty's happy about that.
Yes, he is.
And Thea, thanks for sharing your beautiful presence with us and asking a question. We're going to visit you in an upcoming show. Folks, next week we'll be back, same time, same place, with another show. Our guest will be Jen Ryle. Let's take a look at Jen.
Wow.
She's made a wonderful change in her life, and what you see on the outside is just the beginning of where her story goes. She's changed her life in ways that, well, you just have to tune in to believe. I really do hope you'll take some of this insight and put it into action. Make your next meal a healthy meal. Start tomorrow with a great exercise session, a half hour of walking or weightlifting, just being active. Put yourself out there and make your life successful, make your life happier, because it comes down to what you do. The decisions that you make and the actions that you take are going to make you healthier, or they're going to make you unhealthier. You get to decide right now what it's going to be. All right, I'll be back next week. Until then, have a good, healthy start to tomorrow, you guys. I'm Bill Phillips.
And I'm right like Clarissa.
We'll see you next time.